Hey guys, this is Nick from Attack2Gone, and we are going to do a Best of Clan Wars. This is going to be a combination video, so we're going to look at a goWiPe by Gwaihir or GW, however you want to say it. And then we're going to look at an attack by Sanctum on an almost identical base. They both got 3 stars, really proud of both of them, but we're going to look at a technique in both of them, so maybe we can compare and contrast. So first of all, this is one of my favorite layouts for a goWiPe, simply because there are lots of nice, pretty tracks for the golem to go down. There's not a lot of crash buildings to try to lure P.E.K.K.A. or anything else to the other side. So, GW was maybe a little bit lazy in his funneling here, but it didn't really end up costing him too much. So his troops go in, he's got his golems, his P.E.K.K.A. do try to get distracted a little bit, but then they go right back on the inside because there are no more trash buildings around the outside to bring them in. So notice that whenever those wizards up there got ahead of the tanks, they got taken out pretty quickly. However, the ones down here are pretty safe. The ones going into the middle now are pretty safe because they're behind all of those tanks. And this was a good place to rage because there ended up being a lot of Teslas, so it helped P.E.K.K.A. take out the Teslas very quickly. So what's the state of the affairs here? He's got his penetrating core in the middle, he's got plenty of wizards, he's got both golems and P.E.K.K.A. in here. He's got a P.E.K.K.A. to go around this side, which is good because that means the archer tower and the mortar here are going to be focusing on the P.E.K.K.A. or on the P.E.K.K.A. outside, which means the archer queen and the wizards can do their job. And he also just dropped another tank that'll be traveling around the outermost side. And it looks like he's going to drop a happy little wall breaker to help the king get through. So he's in a really good spot. And notice again, these wizards weren't protected, so they got killed off immediately. Another thing to keep in mind is look at all those wizards that he's got left over. He's waiting. He doesn't need them on the field right now because the defenses are good and distracted by his tanks, his golem there and his P.E.K.K.A. there. So his current wizards are cleaning up. So he noticed that these defenses are focusing on this golem here, and so he dropped some more wizards. The defenses seem to continue to target the same unit until the unit dies, so he made sure to drop the wizards fast enough before that golem split into 2 and the targets could readjust. And he is just going to have plenty of time, plenty of units. Look at that. He didn't even bother using one of his heal spells and one of his poison spells. So now GW is a Town Hall 9, so he is bringing an additional 20 troops to battle that Sanctum did not, and he had the Archer Queen, which is big. So if this was Sanctum, let's say he stripped off 5 of those wizards, so he has 19 wizards, and he doesn't have the Archer Queen. So now we're going to go to Sanctum's attack, a very similar layout, and Sanctum also did a really good job. This one is similar in that there are very few trash buildings around the outside, and you can see Sanctum starts to actually create a funnel with his archer there. And I think he's going to end up doing a pretty good job of it. He drops his golem to try to distract. It looks like he's not going to leave any breadcrumb buildings on the outside. He's just going to bust the hole open and drop the P.E.K.K.A. close enough. And then here's where Sanctum does something different from GW that maybe made it not quite as effective. He drops all of his damage-dealing wizards here. There's not really a need to do that. It's not like there are defenses here that badly need to be destroyed, and those buildings are going to be instrumental in luring his P.E.K.K.A. in. In addition, he doesn't have any wizards in his pocket, and that means if and when these guys die, because they're not currently protected by a P.E.K.K.A. or a Barbarian King or Golems, it means that he's not going to have as much flexibility for laying more wizards down in other parts. So he drops all the P.E.K.K.A. All 3 P.E.K.K.A. go inside. And let's see what he ends up doing. The P.E.K.K.A. start going around. And notice he doesn't really have that many wizards left over. of his original wizard count, I think he's got like 5 wizards here, he's got 1 wizard over here, and other than that, it's all been used up. Lucky for him, he did bring some clan castle wizards, so those do end up pulling through for him and really doing a lot of damage. Normally, I wouldn't suggest dropping heal spells just for the wizards, but hey, there's no tanking units here, so that kind of acts as a tank to help his wizards get through for a little longer. So he's got his Barbarian King tanking for those wizards up there, that's good. These 3 P.E.K.K.A. are all going together, which means they destroy pretty much everything, but it also means that they're only destroying in one particular part of the base. So if maybe instead of dropping all of them at once, he dropped 1 or 2 at a time, saw where one of them went, and tried to drop another one to go in a different direction, he might have been able to cover the base a little more and provide a little more tanking support for his wizard so that they didn't just get killed off so quickly. Even so, he does end up being successful. You can see that Golem and Barbarian King are doing their job. Those wizards in the back are being protected, and so's the one down here. And these P.E.K.K.A. are doing a pretty good job too of holding up, distracting the stuff while the wizards mow through all the trash buildings here. So it does end up being a pretty decent win for him. Let's see, all of his original wizards are gone, which is a little unfortunate. So again, don't drop them all at the same time. Wait until you've got some tanking units in front. Of all the P.E.K.K.A.s that he started out with, he's only got 1 remaining. So you could say, oh goodness, he is completely out of wizards. So this is a really tight match. So now they're all going to meander up to the top. So maybe lessons learned for that. Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. not all in the same place. Don't drop all the wizards at once. Let the wizards get some tanks in front of them. And that P.E.K.K.A., you know, he and the other P.E.K.K.A.s took a lot of damage from defenses when they were going around the outside and destroying other buildings. I'm wondering if they might have lasted longer if he'd had some wizards backing them up, instead of just the one that got sniped off pretty fast and then he couldn't replace it. So in terms of army composition, I like the spells used here. The clan castle wizards is a good option. Or he could do it kind of like GW did it, where he only had 2 P.E.K.K.A. He had more wizards, and then he had, well, I guess we couldn't do a golem in the clan castle. But in general, you know, maybe a few more wizards, maybe a few less tanks. Maybe he would just do 2 P.E.K.K.A. instead of 3. I don't know. Play around. That was still a really sweet attack, and I really like watching you guys. Keep it up.